In this daily drop, I'm going to talk about the triple base ISO system in the Canon EOS C400. So let's go. All right, everybody, here we are with another episode of the Daily Drop, and I am still at Tiffin's Burbank facility. Canon has been gracious enough to lend me the EOS C400 for an itty-bitty period of time. It was tied in with the whole event that happened at Cinegear and the Tech Day, and I was able to hold on to it for a few more hours and at least crank out this video. I want to dive into this camera a lot more. It's kind of this mashup camera for me that's got qualities and features from the C70, the C300 Mark III, the C500 Mark II. It's not quite one of each of those cameras. It has its own uniqueness to it. And in some ways, in my mind, as a Canon EOS C200 owner, a lot of this camera speaks to me as an evolution of that as well. Obviously, brand new sensor technology, an evolution in the dual pixel CMOS AF system in the version 2. And from everything I've seen so far, the AF system is definitely taken a leap forward. Native RF mount, and you can do some very cool things with RF mount lenses and a whole bunch of other stuff. And you've got built into the body system, a very compact body system. You've got Genlock and time code, and this is going to make it a workhorse camera. Now, what I want to do today is talk about this triple base ISO. I've just started to jump into it, but there's some data to at least go over. I'm going to go into the menu system here. And one of the things that I want to mention before I do anything is that your base ISOs are determined on your custom picture settings. So right now you'll see that inside of the custom picture menu, if I go down here, I'm set to Canon Log 3. Canon Log 3 being Canon Log 3 for gamma, and then we've got cinema gamut, so wider than 2020 being captured by the camera system. And then if I change to one of these other settings, which I'll do in a minute, you'll see that the base ISOs that are available are different because of these camera settings. So let's go ahead and jump out of here, and I'm just going to go over to the third page of the camera setup menu. And that's where our base ISO settings are. And I'm going to jump into those. And you'll see with the custom picture that I have set up right now with Canon Log 3 and Cinema Gamut, my base ISOs are 800, 3200, and 12,800. There is this other option called auto selection. I haven't played with it enough to say it does exactly this, but my understanding is that what it will do is pick the cleanest circuit signal to noise ratio based on what the camera is looking at and what you're seeing. It's not something that changes automatically for you. You'll see that if I step out of here and I go down to ISO gain mode, there is an automatic setting for that. That's a little different. That's actually riding your ISO or gain as opposed to just an auto selection that the camera makes under this menu. Again, I'll dig into that more when I understand how it works a little bit better. But right now you'll see that, let's just switch it over here to 3200 ISO, and you'll see that that's my base. And at least from the conversations I've had with people and what I'm seeing, it's going to be trial and error to a degree to figure out where you're getting that clean image. But it seems like the best way to go is to choose a base ISO that you're then going to lower as opposed to a base ISO that you're going to increase in terms of value. So if I wanted to get to 1600 ISO, I would probably be better at setting the camera at 3200 and then reducing to 1600 instead of going into here and saying that my base ISO is 800 and then increasing that to 1600. You're going to probably get a better signal to noise ratio in that situation. And then of course, it's absolutely bonkers, but we can go in here and change our base to 12,800. That's obviously going to be fantastic for certain situations, especially at night when you're just dealing with outdoor practicals and maybe just lower light levels. And so I'm excited to see that inside of the camera. So you're really going to have to try this to see how it works out, and also find those combinations, because it's not uncommon nowadays for us to go ahead and try to get the most dynamic range that we can out of our camera system, but you might be shooting in an interior location where you're looking outside of a window, and what you're going to do first is expose for the exterior, probably using NDs, which is kind of a weird thing that we do nowadays because these cameras are so sensitive, and then bring your light levels up in the room and balance those if you're trying to expose for the background or an exterior in the frame. So there's all kinds of things that you can do, but with this triple base ISO, I think you're going to get even more flexibility with the camera system. I'm excited about it. I see a very sharp sensor, very capable camera system, and with those 3 ISOs, I think that it's going to cover most shooting scenarios. Now, I do want to just one more time go over here and talk about this custom picture thing. I said I would jump into a menu. So let's just go ahead and choose, we'll choose the BT709 wide dynamic range option here. I'll step out, go back into the menu. Let's go to the 3rd page, and you'll see there, my base ISOs are now 400. I've got 1600 and 6400. So it's just readjusting those based on what my custom picture is, but still tremendous in terms of flexibility. That's what I got for you today. I think there's going to be a lot more content in and around this camera system on this channel. I hope to dig into it a lot more going forward. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.